Okay, so I'm doing this presentation on Hamlet. The key question is, how does Shakespeare present the idea of revenge through Hamlet and Letties? So the key theme over here is revenge, and the characters are Hamlet and Letties. So there are many connotations of revenge. Some include retaliate, payback, return gift, the action for getting someone back, bring back, bring back to equality, tit for tat. And now the two characters are Hamlet and Letties, and they both link to the theme in a way. Hamlet links to the theme because he is following the ghost's order. This is his dad's order, who's been murdered by Claudius, his uncle. And he's following his orders to seek revenge. King Claudius has murdered his dad, and now Hamlet is determined to seek revenge. That's how Hamlet is related to the theme. Laertes links to the theme because at first he thinks Hamlet has killed Ophelia and Hamlet murdered Polonius on purpose. Hamlet murdered Polonius, but it was by an absolute accident because he stabbed him when he couldn't see him. Claudius tells Laertes to take revenge, so Claudius is actually like persuading Laertes to take revenge by killing Hamlet with a poisonous sword. This happens because they're gonna have a battle, and Laertes' sword is gonna be poisonous, and they're gonna plan this out to kill him. So, Hamlet's revenge. Hamlet is determined to seek revenge after hearing that Claudius had killed his father. He is disgusted at what evil actions Claudius has committed. First of all, murdering his father and then committing incest. It was described as him as happening in such quick time period. So Claudius has committed incest and married Hamlet's mother. So this is regarded as incest and nowadays is against the law. Hamlet acts crazy after he finds out that Claudius had murdered his father, and he doesn't want anyone to suspect a thing. So he doesn't want anyone to know that he's gonna murder Claudius. So he begins to act crazy. Hamlet took his time because he didn't want Claudius to seek forgiveness for his sins before he died. He wanted Claudius to suffer for the sins he had committed. So Claudius is asking forgiveness for his sins, but Hamlet doesn't want to kill him while he's doing that, or Claudius will go to heaven and won't be punished for the sins he had committed. From then on, Hamlet tries to avoid Claudius and his plans to send him back to England because Claudius wants Hamlet to be as far away as possible now. Hamlet is a determined person who has a goal to achieve. He is that determined he will not stop until that goal has been scored. Although Hamlet's aim was to murder Claudius, he lost a few things and people on the way. His craziness forced Ophelia to commit suicide. And during the last battle, Hamlet lost his mother. And in this scene, Claudius he murdered, however, accidentally killed Laertes as well because they accidentally swapped swords. Laertes had the poisonous sword in his hands and accidentally swapped it with Hamlet. So Hamlet never knew and he accidentally murdered Laertes as well. So coming on to Laertes' revenge, Laertes is a kind and caring character. He likes to take care of his family. On the other hand, he is upset by the fact his dad and Ophelia have passed away. When he has heard this news, he makes a shock return in a helicopter. This happens in the movie. However, in those times, helicopters weren't invented, so Laertes came back as soon as he could, and he believes that Hamlet has done it all. At the funeral, Hamlet comes to his senses and expresses how much he loves Ophelia, and he also apologizes to Laertes. Laertes, however, is still angry and wants to fight Hamlet to seek revenge, and Claudius tells Laertes a plan to kill Hamlet, and this persuasion from Claudius and his idea to murder Hamlet makes Laertes more than happy with him. However, when the final battle comes, it goes all a bit wrong. Laertes accidentally swaps a poisonous sword and ends up dying himself. Hamlet explains um, Hamlet explains Letty's, but his last few breaths, and Letty's realize. So before Letty's was gonna die, Hamlet explained to him in his last few breaths what had happened. Letty's is a nice and determined character as well. However, in my opinion, he can get tempted far too easily sometimes, just like Claudius tempted him and he got tempted. Laertes was determined even more to seek revenge after that cruel Claudius had told him to. Claudius had his plan to murder Hamlet and he used Laertes to carry it out. And between these two characters, there's some similarities as well. Hamlet and Laertes are basically in the same position. Both of their fathers have been killed, and they're both looking to avenge their father's death. Hamlet is taking a careful and slow approach, and Laertes is straightforward and goes straight at him. Hamlet and Laertes have things in common. Laertes highly respects his father Polonius, and Hamlet has great respect for his dead father. And Laertes gives his sister Ophelia guidance on her relationship with Hamlet. He just protects her sister. So both of them, in a way, are caring characters. So here are some exploded quotations of key texts that occurred in the book. The first one, revenge is foul and most unnatural murder. So this is saying the ghost asks Hamlet to seek revenge. He tells Hamlet that Claudius has killed him. Hamlet misses his father and he already hates Claudius, so he accepts it. He takes the deal. The second quotation, to quote his wrote, I, the church. Revenge should have no bounds. So I means in the. So all this quote means is that Laertes is tempted to take revenge, and he states he's going to slice off Hamlet's throat in a church. He says he can do whatever he wants, and there are no limits to what he does. The next quotation, how come he dead? I'll not be juggled with. I dare damnation. I will be revenged. So this is Laertes, who is so confused, who is shocked, and his mind is filled with confusion. How could his father have died? He is thinking that question. He states he will not be messed with. He will take revenge for Defina and put it to eternal punishment in hell. That shows his determination. The next quotation, or penultimate quotation, now might I do it part. Now he is praying. So he might do it now, but he's praying, so his soul will go to heaven. So Hamlet is still waiting to kill the king. He doesn't want to kill him inside while he's praying and asking for forgiveness, because this will mean he goes to heaven, and this defeats the purpose of his main goal and his determination to avenge his father's death. Our last quotation, oh, from this time forth, my thoughts be bloody or be nothing worth. So in this quote, Hamlet is thinking about revenge and how his thoughts and what he's thinking, his actions will be that bloody. It will not be nice. So, an overview. How does Shakespeare present ideas about revenge through the characters of Hamlet and Laertes? So this is the main answer to the question, a full extended answer. So Shakespeare presents the idea of revenge through many ways. Firstly, Hamlet's father being murdered by Claudius, Hamlet's uncle, this builds up the emotion of hatred towards Claudius in Hamlet's mind. Then after that, to make matters even worse, Claudius commits incest and marries Hamlet's mother. This continues building up hatred in Hamlet's mind until it comes to the idea of taking revenge. Hamlet's emotions are held in the quote, murder is so foul. This connotes to the reader of how shocked he is and how determined he is to take revenge. The second idea is that Shakespeare creates this idea, Hamlet going crazy, and Hamlet gave up his love to Ophelia, which resulted in Ophelia turning crazy as well. All the others are trying to work out what went wrong with Hamlet, and this is when Polonius accidentally gets stabbed and dies. Hamlet plans to murder Claudius, goes wrong when Ophelia and Polonius die, and he's related to both of their deaths. The third reason, by all this chaos occurring, Lady Alertes responds to the situation. Now, to make Claudius even worse, Shakespeare tempts Laertes to murder Hamlet through Claudius. So this illustrates to the reader just how bad a character Claudius is and how he just wants to get rid of Hamlet. Finally, to consolidate, Shakespeare presents the idea of revenge by the murdering of many characters in the play. People who you dearly love being killed, people being taken away from you, creates a sense of revenge in your mind. So that is my assessment piece on Hamlet, and that's the full extended answer to the theme and the question. Thanks for watching.